I can name 3 Final Fantasies that have better stories than 7.
You're going to say 6.
Yeah.
You can't possibly say 10.
Yeah, actually.
No way!
Yes!
He was a giant fucking whale!
What? Say that again?
Jekt turned into Sin, the giant fucking whale of the game. That he has all been... And then he's a ghost!
It was amazing!
Hello, everybody. It's February 15th, 2019, and it's a VGBit Bitcast. Guys, it's episode 55, and yesterday was Valentine's Day. So I guess
we're here to have our midlife crisis.
This is the love edition of the Bitcast.
Yay.
It says with a question mark.
Who's loving who?
Nobody right now. I tell you what, there's all this love for beards. Oh, it's like the beard cast. We're missing one important beard right now.
The epic beard.
The epic beard. The butthead is stuck at work.
I had someone compliment my beard recently. It was really nice.
Nobody says anything about my beard.
They were like, don't take this as an insult because I mean it as a compliment, but I like that your beard has grown out because it makes you look older. Because without my beard, I have a very boyish face.
It's a boyish charm.
Yeah, that's why I get all the cougars after me.
See, I've got to shave my beard and trim it back now because as I've grown it out more and more, my mustache and my beard have started to get lighter and lighter and turn grayer and grayer.
Dude, I cannot. I actually really like that look of gray in the beard. So I'm starting to notice right here, mine's starting to go gray in this area, and I'm all like, yeah, keep going.
See, I will be sad when mine starts turning gray because my beard generally looks like brown, but
it looks reddish.
It's got this red undertone to it. So especially in the summer or if I spend a lot of time out in the sun,
it reddens up.
It gets nice and red, and I love it.
Don't you mean green?
You've got 10 years before you can even worry about gray hair, man.
I hope so.
Minimum 10 years.
I am debating whether or not I should trim it up, though.
It wouldn't hurt to trim.
Just get the trimmer and don't even try to shape it or put a guard on it. Just it sounds weird to say go at it like it's you ever see soap bubbles, how they puff up like that, and you can imagine just trimming off the side of soap bubbles.
It's kind of like hedge gardening.
Yeah. Knock down the high spots.
Yeah.
Exactly. Leave everything there and just trim off the parts that are going like this.
Yeah, I should probably do that considering I have an interview for an IT position.
Woo! Is that your news?
Man, yes. rolling right into his business, isn't he? That was a very smooth transition.
All right. Well, then.
Segue.
Your segue into business. Your business is you have a job interview.
I do. The job that I have been hoping for and pursuing basically for a year now. I finally have a job interview, and it'll be on Wednesday, February 27th.
Very nice.
At 9:45 in the morning. So when the 27th rolls around and you guys realize what time it is, say a quick little prayer, send up some good thoughts for me.
I'll just start blowing up your cell phone in the middle of the meeting.
Hey, did you get that job yet? Did you get that job? Are you in the middle of the interview right now? I hope you got that job. I really do.
I'm going to turn off my phone before
Good man.
That is the best move in the world.
Yes.
The funny thing is, I will probably be at work for work and then go to the interview and then come back to work because I work in the college.
Well, in all honesty, that's a relatively common thing. Hey man, can I take an early lunch today? Yeah, sure man, you can take your lunch at 10. and then you go at 10 and you interview somewhere else.
Well,
that is not uncommon.
Thankfully,
you
my boss is okay with it. He's actually encouraging it. So when I tell him that, he'll be very happy.
So when you have a 30-minute lunch, you can't really do that.
You have a 30-minute lunch?
No, I used to.
Oh, okay. Okay. I was
It
like,
sucked.
ouch, dude.
I just had to miss work when I went to interview. I was just like, well, I guess I'm not going to work. Let me just go interview for a job today.
Call in sick one day.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
The way I could. But so that is your business. Anything else?
I am almost finished with The Legend of Dragoon. I was able to stream that for 3 hours this morning. Let's see.
Did you get to disc 4?
No, I think I'm almost there. I just beat the Divine Dragon. And I stopped once I got back into Leningrad because I had to run out and do some errands, get some stuff for pizza for food tonight.
Ooh,
Pick up some other. I had to pick up some new undershirts because I bought some undershirts before I went to PAX, so that way I could wear my button ups and everything look nice. And then the undershirts were. I tried them on when I got them and they were fine, but then when I was at PAX, they were too small. So either I got really fat or they shrunk or a little mix of both. I'm not sure, but they were like way too tight.
The word you're looking for is swole.
yeah.
You got swole.
I hope
Roll
so.
with food.
I hope so.
There's good food at PAX, man.
There is. I had to pick up some large ones, so hopefully they will fit. But other than that, man, no, just pushing through the semester. I feel like I'm almost done already. Like, I know it's only February, but you know, come the end of the semester.
This is your last semester, right?
I'll have a half semester after this. I have to take one class in the summer to officially achieve my diploma, but I will be walking in May.
Oh, okay. So you have one class in summer. Awesome.
Right. But they're letting me walk in May. I'm going to have to take a sociology class entirely online, which is what I was expecting, but the professor I wanted to have doesn't have an online class. He only has an on-campus class at like 5 p.m. to 9:30 over the summer. Yeah, they're evening classes. And if I get this IT job, I'll be working, I think, 2 or 2:30 to 7 or 7:30.
Cool.
So I will be evening, Monday through Thursday, I think, is the schedule. So
good luck on the interview, man.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Here's hoping I actually interview well, because I feel like I never do.
You know what? Interviews are a crazy thing. You could literally, and I'm speaking from experience on this instance, walk in, the interviewer not ask you anything at all, give you an entire tour of the facility like they're giving you the job, and then never get a call back.
I've had one like that, yes.
I've had one like that, and I was like, the hell?
Yeah, I was all like, shit, I guess I'm in.
Yeah, I thought so too. And then
I called him back like 2 days later. He's all like, yeah, we didn't hire you.
Yeah.
I was all like, what?
I tried to reach out to HR, and they just were like, we haven't made a decision yet. I'm like, that was last September?
Wow.
I was like, never mind.
I at least got called back on one that I had similar to that. It was for another IT position before I had any formal education in it. And they walked me around, introduced me to everyone. I was talking to people, having a good time, took me to their break room. They're like, yeah, this is all the stuff we have. We've got a hot dog roller. We've got Netflix, a popcorn machine, like crazy stuff, a couch in there. And they're like, yeah, it's great in here. Everyone's awesome. And I was like, all right. Didn't really ask me any questions. A few days later, yeah, we're not looking to hire you. All right.
I love that. It's like, oh, thank you so much for wasting my time.
Yeah.
I appreciate nothing that you've done for me right now.
Yeah. Fun stuff like that. But, man, I think aside from that, I can't really think of anything too crazy. Other than I acquired a... What's it called? It's a Raspberry Pi
Mm-hmm.
that acts like the SNES Classic.
Yes.
So now I can play a game that I have not been able to play for years because it's got more than just like SNES Classic. It's got original Game Boy games on it too. So I can finally play Super Mario Land 2. I think it's like Legend of the Six Coins or something.
6 golden coins.
That's what it is. 6 golden coins, which I used to play all the freaking time on the gray brick Game Boys in the car. Like anytime we went on trips, I was playing that game. Haven't been able to play it since.
One of the best old Mario World games. That game was awesome.
Yeah, I'm so excited that I finally get to play that again because I have the game and I think I still have the brick Game Boy. I just haven't been able to find it.
I know I have the brick Game Boy somewhere.
My mom has 2 of them.
We had 2. One had a crack in the screen, and I have no idea what happened to either one of them. I used to have them in my closet, but I've got so much junk in there, I have no idea what's in there anymore.
Junk. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah. So that is something that I get to play around with and enjoy some of the old games that I can no longer enjoy because I either don't have the console or it's broken or...
Speaking of console, I need to dig all mine out of the closet and put them on the shelves for display now. I have not done that yet. All the old goodness. Okay, so so is that all your business for this week, Cody?
Yeah, pretty much.
All right.
Open shut case.
Hey, well, good luck on the interview. I will be counting down the days on the interview.
I appreciate it.
I guess I'll go ahead and roll into my business. Today ended the second week of the new job.
How's that going?
At first I thought I was going to be in over my head.
Oh?
Yeah, I thought it was going to be bad, but it is not. It is really good. The drive is just what's brutal.
But I thought it was closer than the last place.
No, it's further.
It's further?
Away.
Okay.
It's way further away.
Hey, audiobooks, bro.
I know. I'm gonna have to. Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. I've got a book that I haven't listened to. I need to listen to that.
Bust out.
One of the project that I was given day one when I arrived was a project that one of the mechanical engineers was doing, or a mechanical engineer normally does. So you can imagine my surprise when I walked in and I'm like, "Wait, I'm doing this." I was like, I was hired for being a drafter. But now I'm doing some mechanical engineering work, which is exciting for me.
Is that something that you want to do?
Oh, yeah, I wanted to be a mechanical engineer.
Oh.
Are they going to
I just kind of... It was more or less... I was worried because they were like, I'm going to throw you into the fire. Whee! Here you go, Daniels. It's like, let's see how well you swim in all the burning water. And I'm like, oh God, this is terrifying. But at the end of week 2, everything's cool. I've got a pretty good grasp on everything now. So
it's good to hear.
Was it more like they were just trying to test your abilities with something that they thought might be over your head, or?
I really don't know, because when I went in so my interview for this job, there was a giant metal block on a desk, okay? And one of the mechanical engineers goes, I need you to draw that block. And I'm like, okay, you're drawing it in AutoCAD. Well, it's been a while, but all right, I'll see what I can do. No. 45 minutes later, I've got some of the block finished. I'm like, all right, well, it's like my skills in AutoCAD are rusty. They're like, okay, here's SolidWorks. And I'm like, all right. And he goes, draw the block in SolidWorks. 10 minutes later, I'm like, are you back yet? I'm done.
Yeah, because SolidWorks is the one that you work with the most, right?
Right. I own a license of SolidWorks for my personal use. So, and it's not a cheap program, but nonetheless.
Yeah, I remember.
I mean, AutoCAD's not cheap either, but yeah.
No, but so I was like, okay, I drew the block. It's like, obviously I'm going to be doing a lot of drawing of things that have to go and go out and get them quoted and get them manufactured and brought in and get going. And then one of the project that they handed me when I started there was, okay, here is a line. They're a plastics manufacturer, okay?
Like explosives or
No.
Yes,
Not C4.
Yes, they manufacture C4. No,
Okay.
Plastic.
Gotcha.
Okay, so they have certain things. They have certain machine setups for manufacturing plastic, like trash bags and stuff.
Gotcha. That's right.
So I'm looking at this and I'm like, okay. They're like, hey, you see this manufacturing line right here? And I'm like, yeah. They go, this is your project. And I was like, what? He said, we're moving this 18 inches west. And I'm like, okay. And he goes, and we're doing all of this as well to this line. And I'm like, oh, okay. What?
Fun stuff for you.
It was like the first day, and I'm like, this is a lot. I don't know anything about plastic manufacturing. Guess it's time to learn.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've been doing, is learning and working on drawing and practicing drawing elevation and plan views. So, hooray.
Oh, so you're doing the drawing involved in moving everything.
I'm doing everything involved with this line.
Ah.
I'm doing the drawings. I'm getting the stuff that's going to be put out for manufacture, get all that stuff quoted, get done, coordinating with production, shutting down the line, getting the line moved. If somebody's going to have a question, guess who they're going to come talk to? Me.
Interesting.
I own this line for a move, and it's so weird because it's like, this is what I want to do. I mean, well, this is the level that I've been trying to attain. And then now that it's in my hands, I'm like, what do I do with it?
Yeah.
It's like,
it also sounds, to the untrained ear and the person who's never seen an environment like that, it sounds very minuscule. We need you to move this line 18 inches that way.
Yeah.
And the average person is all like, so just get over there and push it.
Yeah.
And you're like, no.
Go out there, roll out with your little crank cart and move it over.
Your pallet jack.
Yeah, your pallet
jack
jack.
that thing up and roll it over 18 inches. Mission accomplished. Why is this 2 weeks later? It's not done yet.
Yeah, if only it weren't that simple, then I would have already been done and be like, all right, next job. But no, we've got to cut holes in mezzanines and reinforce openings with I-beams, and
you're doing structural engineering and
there's
mechanical engineering.
There's structural engineering that's involved in this. Yeah, it's like a whole bunch of stuff, and I'm just like, wow, I am learning a lot right now, which I haven't been in a position to where I have felt so small in my life than I have ever been at starting this new job. I literally feel like I am the lowest of the totem pole right now. It's so awkward, but interesting because I get to learn. Because if you walk into a place where you know everything, then you're like, all right, well, I guess I'm the big dog on campus again.
It's nice to actually start learning stuff.
It is. That is one thing that never gets old for me is learning something new.
Yep.
As long as I can continue to learn new skills and trades and adapt and put this into use for my life, then it's cool. So, but it is legitimately crazy.
Well, I'm glad it's at least mellowing out to where you feel a little more comfortable.
Yeah, it's like for like the past couple of weeks, I've just felt like I've been wanting to hyperventilate, going, this is crazy. So I hadn't felt like that in years.
But you're at least not freaking out over it anymore. You're more just like, okay, that's a lot of work, but I got this shit.
Yeah, it's like I've got it now. It's like,
okay,
boss is coming by, like, yeah, I got this done now. It's like I just got to make some notes, and then I'm starting to notice things, and I'm like, well, I can't do this. I'll have to do this. I'd like to do this. I can't really go into specifics, one, because I've got to avoid talking about the company. So
Totally
I'll
understandable.
never name the name of the company or how they manufacture what they manufacture, mainly because they'll sit there and go, "You're fired." So, like, you're divulging company secrets. So as long as I keep it as generic as possible, everything's fine.
They do stuff with other stuff that I have to do stuff with, so that way they can do more stuff.
Yeah.
Cool.
But I can tell you this. I have learned how they manufacture trash bags now. It's crazy, but yeah, it's interesting.
So is it
Fucking A.
something that we as the consumers absolutely take for granted?
Yeah.
Huh.
You would not, I mean, you couldn't even imagine how many pallets of trash bags are just all over the place. I mean, like, shipped out all the time. It's impossible to fathom. It's just, we use so many trash bags as the people.
Yeah,
Yep.
I mean, like, even where I live in Pennsylvania, we are required to put our trash, like trash bags, you know, something like we'll get Glad trash bags. We'll take those trash bags and we have to put them in a bigger industrial sized trash bag to then take and put out on the curb for our garbage men to come pick up.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
We don't need garbage cans. They don't come out and flip garbage cans. They just come out, pick up the bags, and toss it in.
Oh, they got guys riding on the back of trucks then just hucking bags.
Pretty
Yeah,
much.
they don't have the automated
Oh, wow.
container pickers.
No.
We've got those.
And then we have to separate glass, plastic, aluminum, steel, and cardboard, like cardboard and paper products. So steel, we actually can put in with the glass, and I think we can put plastic in with that together as well. But if we wanted to, we could separate the steel and then take the steel down to the dump and then sell the steel back to them, same as the aluminum.
Mm-hmm.
And then the cardboard, they don't pick up. We have to take that to the dump, but they will pick up glass and plastic.
They don't pick up cardboard?
Nope.
Wow.
Yeah, our company won't. The company that does the recycling in our city, they won't pick up paper or cardboard either.
So do you literally just have to make trips to the dump to throw away your cardboard?
Yep. Whenever we have a lot of cardboard, we just got to take it out there.
There's also, my city has containers around that are owned by the city. It's dumpsters, but they're made specifically just for paper or cardboard, and you could just go put your stuff in there. So you don't have to take it to the dump. You just have to go find one of those containers.
The more you know.
Thankfully,
Learn
our
something new
dump is
about
only
something.
like 10 minutes away. It's like we cross the main road because we live on one side, the dump's on the other. So we just got to go down the road like 4 or 5 miles and get there.
So they pick up cardboard here as long as it's clean cardboard, I should say. You can recycle the clean cardboard. But if it's cake,
they won't take like pizza
oil,
boxes.
yeah, pizza boxes and stuff. We just have to throw it away.
Yeah.
That's so fascinating.
So does this constitute as us trash talking each other?
I guess so.
Boo!
Oh my goodness. So let's see. Work has been interesting. Work is new and challenging, and it's breathing a fresh breath air into my life. I have realized that I am legitimately the youngest person in my department area by 20 to 30 years.
Wow.
Which blows
You're
my
old.
mind. I am old. You know what? By the standards of a 7-year-old, I am old. So
You're the same age as me. Don't feel too bad.
I know. I used to be
you
the
old
old. Hey, for some of the places that I did work at before, I used to be the oldest in the facility, or
I
the
bet that made
oldest
you
of the
feel-
management team.
I bet that made you feel very smart.
Well, I mean, just look around. I'm like, these people are younger than me by a good 8 years.
Yeah.
So it was interesting.
Yeah.
All good people, though. Love to
Oh,
go
that's
back and
good.
work for that place. Too bad it shut down.
It's like the only people in my company older than me are the owners.
Wow.
Everybody else is younger than me.
It's such a surreal experience, isn't it?
Well, it also doesn't hurt that the owners are only like 3 to 5 years older than me. So
there you go.
They're not that much older either.
A level of relate than you can have.
Yeah. See, I connect on like like the other day actually. This will come up in my business, but the other day I was talking to somebody about I had ordered something on Amazon. I was like, check out this thing, and the guy was like, I have no idea what that is. And then my boss was walking by, and I went, look what I got. And my boss was like, no way. That's awesome.
Well, what did you get?
I'll show it in my business. I'll wait.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
Speaking of which, I'm going to step away for just a second. You guys keep going.
Okay.
I'm going to go get the thing.
He's going to get
All
the
right.
thing.
So now we can start making fun of him that he's gone.
Okay, well, Matt's gone now.
Gotten it for you. It's super hip.
So nice.
No.
Such a nice
Can't be-
gesture.
Yeah. Can't be such a sweetheart.
Let's see. Outside of work, I bought a new suit because of the wedding.
Oh, okay. I was about to say like a new business suit, or so it's a formal suit.
Yeah, I've bought a 3-piece suit, and it will be for the wedding. I
Don't sound happy about that at all.
My suit size is much bigger than it was the first go around.
Yep. All my suits I can't wear anymore. I had a pinstripe suit that I loved. Can't wear it. I would have worn that to the interview that I have going on.
Pinstripes? No.
It's the most formal suit that I have. I think
For
it's
a zoot suit riot, maybe.
Oh my God.
It's like, okay, so where I used to work, just down the street, was a tailoring company, a very big importing or exporting tailoring company.
Mm-hmm.
And they make suits for all sorts of various famous people. And apparently the suit I had was like $1,000 or $2,000, and I got it for $50.
Ooh.
Because the guy got it, and he was like, "Yeah, I don't want it."
Ooh.
It's like, okay, let's do it.
Pinstripe
Awesome.
suit.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
So I used to be able to dress up like a mafia member.
Zoot suit riot.
That's okay. I used to have a powder blue leisure suit.
Ah, Matt, I would pay to see that on you again.
Holly,
There's a picture of me in Discord somewhere. I need to go find it.
Holly still is adamant that I should dress my brother and TJ up in the powder blue and bright ass orange suits from Dumb and Dumber. I'm just not gonna do it.
That would be funny, dude.
She keeps saying, "This will be hilarious." I'm like, "No, it won't. It's funny now, but on the day of the wedding, it won't be."
Wait, what won't be funny? I'm sorry, someone
Okay.
was at my door.
Have you've seen Dumb and Dumber, correct? Oh my God.
Actually, I've got a picture right here, Cody.
Totally, Daniel. I've totally seen Dumb and Dumber.
Oh God, here. At some point in your time, when you have a free minute, Google search Dumb and Dumber and then orange suit and blue suit. And then you will see the suit colors that I'm referring to. And
Oh my gosh.
Holly wants Curtis and TJ in those colors for the wedding
Why?
because she thinks it's hilarious. And I'm
Because it is hilarious.
it's hilarious now to sit there and go, ha ha ha, yeah, it'd be great. They're going to look like that at the wedding. Ha ha ha, everything's great. But on the day of the wedding,
All right, fine.
sometimes
but
people's sense of humor dies. It doesn't work like that.
if they're dressing up like that, your limo when you guys leave, or your car or whatever, has to be the one of the dog car that they're in.
Has to be a giant dog.
Yeah.
No. Oh, I bought a nice gray suit for the wedding. I am super excited about it.
I love the sneakers with that suit, Matt.
I was in high school.
Oh my God. I just caught a look of it.
That was back when I had hair.
I'm joining you soon. It just keeps falling out ever so slightly and slow. This is the old people show now.
I just want my hair to be gone now. It's just more of a hassle to keep cutting it at this point.
I have made the commitment. Once it gets to a point where if the comb over is gonna have to happen, then I'm just shaving my head bald. I was like, there's no point in even trying to be that guy that has that little wispy comb over. I'm like, no, I have more respect for myself than that. I can't do that.
You're not going to pull a Donald Trump?
I could have made a joke, but I'm not going to do that.
Cool.
Anyway, that's that's my business for the week. It has been lots and lots of insanity as we get closer day by day to the wedding. Hopefully everything goes well. So, Matt, what did you buy on Amazon with your business?
Are we going to start there?
We can. Unless
I got. Cappy got me this.
Oh my God.
Whoa.
What?
Holy crap.
Wow.
He stopped writing the year before I was born.
Yeah. Every single Far Side comic ever drawn, including those not ever released.
Wow.
Have you read them?
No, not yet. I flipped through a couple of the pages of the first book just to kind of get a feel for how the book is laid out.
Mm-hmm.
And if the comic was ever released in color, whether that was the Sunday version of his comic or a re-release that he colored later, it is in color in this. And then all the others are in black and white. And I would show a couple off, but I want to respect Gary Larson's wishes, which were he doesn't want any of his comics to be posted on the internet.
Oh.
Which is why you don't see a lot of his comics on the internet. The only way you're seeing them is from people scanning them out of a book and posting them up there themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
But it's hilarious. If you like stupid comics that are just really dumb, but they're just situationally hilarious, this guy is amazing.
Super impressive. I hopped on Amazon just because I was curious to see how much the hardcover cost. Because I was like, oh, that's a thing that I am interested in. And then I looked at the price and I'm like,
isn't the hardcover 200?
$148.75.
148. Okay.
Yep.
Wow.
In stock right now with free shipping.
Yep. But even the paperbacks that I have, because these are the paperback versions.
Oh, the paperback version, $50.
Yeah.
That is nice.
Even the paperback version weighs a ton.
Oh, it has to. There's so many comics.
Look how thick this thing is. That's just one of 3 volumes.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It is massive.
It's crazy.
But yeah, Cappy got me that. She said she liked me or something. I don't get it.
None of us understand how you keep her.
No, yeah, you are not the only one, sir. And in addition to that, I've been playing a lot of The Witcher 3, which I am in love with madly.
Enjoying that Witcher 3, huh?
Been catching up on Critical Role. And
thankfully episode 51 just came out.
I have not watched that one yet, but I've watched 50. And I'm like at episode 47 of campaign 1.
I almost did not watch the most recent episode.
Really?
But you did watch it.
I did watch it. I did end up watching it. But yeah, I almost didn't watch it because I've just gotten to a point where I'm like, I feel like every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday just get consumed with so much stuff that like I do homework and work throughout the week. And then...
Oh, I don't watch them live.
Yeah, well...
I don't watch it live anymore. It's the problem for me. I don't know.
not watch it live.
I don't understand how you even watch it live because I can't watch it live because it runs way too late for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, oh my God, I'm going to pass out halfway through.
I fell asleep in my chair last night watching it live.
Ooh, how far did? Never mind. You can't answer that.
Yeah, don't tell me.
I was 2.5 hours into the episode.
I do.
So you basically
like
got
the
the break.
Yeah.
I do like the fact that the episodes on average are getting slightly longer.
Yeah, it is
Like,
nice.
They're like, I think I want to say the average episode is like 3.5 hours long now. And I'm like, I like that. If you cut out all the art and commercials and stuff in the middle, it's about 3.5 hours. And I'm like,
Yeah,
I like that length. That's a superb length for D&D.
It gives you a lot of opportunity for a lot of story building and a lot of fun battles. By the way, Cody, I've already watched the entire episode of 51, so it's okay.
What's that?
I've already watched the entire episode. I finished watching 51 on my way home today.
Oh, okay, cool.
I turn it on in my truck and I put my phone on the dashboard and I drive and I listen to it.
Ah, that's a good way to do it, I suppose. As long as you're not watching it and driving.
As long as I'm not watching it, everything's okay. But then again, sometimes with the traffic that I'm in, I could just sit there and watch it and wait 10 minutes and go, oh, I haven't moved yet.
That's true.
Yay.
Just waiting for the person behind you to start going, burr, burr.
Oh, it's time to go? Okay.
Thanks for reminding me.
Thanks.
Cappy finished Final Fantasy 15.
What?
How long did that take her?
How many hours do you have in it?
I think it was like 107.
Holy cow.
107.
Is she the type of person to
And,
do everything, though?
I mean, she did like 95% of it.
Dang.
She's kind of originally she was very much a completionist, but she's kind of gone more towards leaning to my area, which is like I do everything that's normal and easy and fun, and then if there's one or two things that's like a huge pain in the ass and has absolutely no payoff, you're just kind of like, eh.
I platinum the main part.
Did you hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she platinumed it. So she's gotten all the trophies that you need for getting platinum. And then there's a couple of side things that she's kind of like, I'm not going to bother with that because she like looked it up and they're like, oh, this optional dungeon, like even if you're using a walkthrough that tells you exactly what to do and in what order, the dungeon will probably take you like 5 hours. And she's like, I'm probably not going to do that.
I've got a question for her then.
Oh, Daniel's got a question for you, Cappy.
Yeah.
Did you drive the car yourself all over creation, or did you let the game drive the car, or while you pretend to drive the car on the road?
Did you drive the car or did you let the game drive the car all the time?
I mostly let Ignis drive, but every now and then I did. But the first time I did, I crashed horribly, and I could never fly correctly. So I mostly just let Ignis drive.
So like 95% and then 5% you?
I would say more like 98 too.
Okay.
Now see, previously in Final Fantasy 15, when the game first came out, you couldn't actually drive the car like on the grass and stuff. It was limited strictly to the road, and you could just press the X button or the accelerate button, and then the car would follow the road by itself. And then you couldn't make a choice of left or right to go. But then they finally decided to open it up to where you could drive the car on the grass. I have not done that yet, but I was curious.
Fascinating.
Yeah. It's from what she said, that was very difficult to do, and it didn't lean well to actually ever doing it. So, because apparently, hey Cappy,
Yeah.
if the car ran out of gas and you were not on the road, what happened?
Wait, the car runs
you,
out of gas?
You would have it towed back at your expense. I never had it run out of gas, but it tells you you'd have to tow it. You would always be on the road, though, if you had the regular car, because you wouldn't take it off. It wasn't off-road. The post-game car had infinite gas.
Oh, that's nice. Finally.
Okay.
Yeah, but then if you get it towed, you get to see Cindy again, so it's okay.
Cindy was. How would you rate Cindy as far as your favorite characters in the game?
Tits out of 10. She sucked.
Tits out of 10. She sucked.
Amazing.
I thought from the description and the little bit I watched, I felt like that was playing to the least common denominator.
That's the exact reason why she existed in the game.
Yeah.
No, exactly.
tell.
But as like a Final Fantasy like lover that I am, I couldn't get past the fact that they took Sid and put him in the background.
Yeah.
I know. That's what I was.
Tits and ass in front of him.
That's
And
exactly
like,
what I thought.
God, Sid is such an iconic character, and you make him this old, decrepit man that doesn't do shit.
And then
I'm just like, yeah, I'm his niece or whatever.
That's right. She didn't do much either.
she was created for cosplay. That's it.
Yeah.
Because everybody wants cosplay. And cosplay's great. But when you create a character specifically for cosplay, you get her.
Yeah. Is vapid.
About as shallow as a puddle.
I feel like I struck a chord there with my comment.
I mean, your statement is valid, Cody. The reason you liked her is the reason they put her in the game, but that's the extent of why she was in the game.
Honestly, I was very invested in the love interest between Cindy and shoot, what's his name? Skinny Cloud.
Skinny Cloud.
Skinny Cloud.
Yeah.
Skinny Cloud.
Who was the annoying guy with the camera?
Prompto. That's right. Yeah, Skinny Cloud.
Skinny Cloud. He was more like a Zell to me.
I don't know who that is.
Final Fantasy VIII. That's what he felt like to me.
Final Fantasy VIII Zell.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I could see it. I could definitely see it.
That is who Prompto reminded me of, was Zell. And then Ignis reminded me of Irvine. And then Emo was just like every other Final Fantasy lead, Emo.
Matt, what was that one 2D Final Fantasy that you played on YouTube forever ago? There's like a jungle woman you get and a frog man.
Oh, that's Final Fantasy. Wait, no, that wasn't me.
That wasn't you?
No, you're thinking of Chrono Trigger.
No, was it?
Oh yeah, that is Chrono Trigger.
Yeah, there's a frog guy and there's a wild woman.
The best
Do you get a
Final
robot
Fantasy.
too?
You get a robot. That's Chrono Trigger.
What's that really Chrono Trigger?
I've never actually played that game.
Oh man, it's so good.
Who did I watch play that then?
Probably
It wasn't
Michael.
me.
Was it Nev or
Nev did play most of it. Yeah, I think he finished it.
that might have been who I watched play it then.
Yeah, I played a little bit of Chrono Trigger, and I don't know, for some reason when I tried to play it a long time ago, I never got into it. I think that was the time when I was starting to move away from RPGs for a while, JRPGs at least, to more action style games.
I'm there right now.
Yeah. Oh, so you're not really into JRPGs at the moment.
I've begun to lose my interest after spending like a year on The Legend of Dragoon.
That's fair.
I was very cynical in my stream today. Like as stuff was happening, I just started calling out the generic tropes that you see in all JRPGs.
You're ready for the game to be done, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still enjoying it. I'm not to the point where I was with like Dragon Age Origins, where I was like, all right, let's just end this already. Like I'm still enjoying it and I'm invested in the story. But at the same time, I'm like, I've spent so much time trying to get this done. I'm ready to be able to move on to something else.
Look, Dragon Age is just as tropey as any JRPG out there.
Sure.
You can
Sure.
you go inside another witch's head to have sex with them.
I don't think I
Well,
ever did that.
that's optional.
Yeah, I never did that.
Well, I played as a wizard.
You could go. Well, no, see, I went into her head, but I didn't have sex with her. I just killed her.
Oh no, I chose that, and then she joined my party, and it was great.
Wait, are you talking about Morgan or
Morgan,
Wait, you didn't go into her head. You went into somebody else's head.
wasn't it? Oh no, you're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was.
Oh,
something to
yeah,
do-
that's
something to do
right.
With the Wizard's Tower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You went into a monster's brain in the wizard's tower and killed the demon that was inside the brain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The number of like lust demons and junk like that were in there.
yeah, I solved that problem. Not with magic though.
You solved that problem with your penis.
The other sword.
Oh.
Hey, Cody, do you want a sword fight?
Sure.
That game is something else.
You want to turn it into Star Wars? Make them lightsabers.
Ow.
I don't see how that's any different. They're still swords.
They are still swords. You just get them more colorful.
I don't need my sword to be colorful.
Sometimes you just got to spice things up.
Oh goodness. So Matt, anything else been going on lately? Let's just derail from that subject.
Cappy's also been playing Mass Effect Andromeda.
Nice.
I obviously, just like the other Mass Effect games, I'm actually doing the playing and she's making all the decisions, but that's going well so far.
I saw you put out a tweet the other day. I think this was actually a while back, where you were looking for a mod for Mass Effect to mask the back of the characters' throats because it was distracting.
That was one of the still present animation issues that I have, and I don't know if it's technically an animation issue or if it's more of a I would consider it more of a lighting problem.
Probably, I would agree.
Is that the inside of every NPC's mouth is fully lit. So as they're talking, you can see the back of their throat. And I'm like, normally when you're having a conversation with a human, you can't see more than like half an inch into their mouth because
Right.
it goes into darkness.
Also, they don't open their mouths like this when they talk.
Well, in all fairness, they don't do that in Mass Effect Andromeda anymore either.
Anymore.
Hey, I'm glad they fixed that. Trust me.
They did do a lot of fixes. I did install a few mods, but I just couldn't find one that shadows the interior of their mouths for some reason.
That is so weird.
It's if you play it for a while, you eventually, your mind eventually like zones that out and you stop paying attention to it.
Kind of like how you just don't see your nose.
Yeah, kind of, or kind of like when you're watching a show that has subtitles. Eventually, your brain just filters out the subtitles, and you can watch it without them. But when we first started playing the game, it's this very shock and jarring impact. You're like, why can I see this guy's molars? And you're just, it feels really weird at first, but we got over it.
Open up the first video just to see an NPC talking to you guys.
Yeah, dude, do it. You look right down the back of their throat. It's really interesting.
You will be very happy to know that I promised Kane I would begin Mass Effect 2 at some point.
Really?
Sometime after I do Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen, I will do Mass Effect 2.
I thought you told somebody you would never touch Dragon Dogma again.
Yeah, he's paid me though.
That's fair.
No, it was something else. I forget what it was that he did, but I said, you know what? Fine, I will. For you, I will do the DLC to Dragon's Dogma.
Well, that's not very long, I would think.
I don't think it will be. He said that a lot of the things I didn't really care for about the base game are rectified in the DLC, so I'm hoping that maybe it'll be slightly better to play. But I think after that, I think I want to try the Metroid games. Or not Metroid games, Metro games.
Oh, yeah. Metro 2033 and stuff like that.
Yeah, I picked them up a while ago because they had always looked interesting and I wanted to try them because I'd never really seen anything about them. So I picked those up and I want to play those at some point. I think that'll be a nice break from RPG to FPS / RPG. Because I find most people don't enjoy watching FPSs too much anymore. which is sad because I love shooting things.
I just
Serious
remembered.
Sam.
I actually played a video game in the
Really?
past couple of weeks.
Are you feeling okay?
Yeah. It just dawned on me. I was like, oh yeah, we did do that.
What'd you play?
Jackbox 5.
Ah, okay.
Hey,
That's more. I consider that more of a board game / party game.
it's still a
It
video.
just, it just happens to be in video game format.
Mm-hmm.
I
have
mean,
you know-
in all fairness, the you don't know Jack games are awesome.
They are really good.
We did happen to record a video of our gameplay in Jackbox. TJ, myself, Curtis, and Curtis's wife
Oh, cool.
Hey,
Did they come down to visit, or was it all over?
did it over Parsec.
That's amazing. You shouldn't need to even use Parsec, but I
It
guess that
makes
works.
it easier. The
Yeah.
timing is so much faster. You have more time than what you would have with like trying to stream it. So
What about sharing screens on like Discord?
possibly, but I'm also recording at the same time too, and Discord hates everything.
That's fair. I forgot about that. Well, that's neat.
There is a game on there that is called hold on one second.
I am thinking of the right thing. Jackbox is the you don't know Jack stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yes, but there's
Okay.
other games that are involved
Yeah.
with it. Oh, what is this? What is it called? Madverse City. Okay. Madverse City is a game in which you are a giant robot in a city, and you're throwing down sick burns while rapping at your opponent.
Okay.
You can only imagine how good some of these were when TJ and Curtis are involved in this.
I was gonna say I can absolutely see Curtis just spitting hot fire.
There was so much hilarity. Some of them we got screwed on. Some of them were brutal. And it is great. I've got to poke TJ in the eye and see when he's going to edit that so we can get it up. But
As long as he's got a house.
he will have a place to live.
Yeah, I'm sure once he's done being monopolized by his work and can take some time to actually sit down at home to edit things instead of being stuck in his truck all the time, he'll be just fine.
Yeah.
But we did record one of those, and hopefully it will be soon. That is a game that is super fun to play. But so if anybody happens to play Madverse City, please let me know. I like to throw down.
But yeah, that's it. That's it for my business.
I guess we move on to the news.
News.
Okay.
There was legitimately, for a second there, you sounded like Michael.
Yeah,
And I had to stop for a minute and go, did somebody join the rendezvous call?
You know what's funny is I heard it too.
I was like, I did not hear the doo-doo-doo, nor did I click. That is creepy.
I'm getting better and better at voice acting every day. Now, if only I could match TJ's bass.
Nobody can match TJ's bass.
One day.
Nope.
One day.
TJ is he is the voice of voices. News-wise, boy, there's a lot of news that came out here recently. Shallowly skimming over the top here, there was a new Battle Royale game released, Apex Legends.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy. It's growing super fast.
Yep. Insert our conversation about Apex Legends here.
I guess technically we could. Let me just cut that in right now. Past Daniel, or future Daniel, will hate past Daniel right now. So fuck you, future Daniel. It's not like you have anything to do right now. So just cut that in while you're chasing the dog around, cussing out the dog, and then we'll go from there.
Oh, is that what you had to go to?
Well, that and look at dresses for Holly. Holly's like, I need your opinion on these dresses. I'm like, right now? She goes, yes. And I'm like, okay.
Yes, dear.
Yes, dear.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. So, but Apex Legends, neither here nor there. I have not played it. I do not have an opinion. It's from the makers of Titanfall.
Respawn.
We'll see. If I have an opportunity to try it and try Anthem, maybe we'll find out. But
I think I enjoyed Anthem more than I've enjoyed Apex Legends so far.
Hot take. In the other news, to some little bit more meaty stuff that I had pulled aside for last week. Microsoft is preparing to bring Xbox Live to iOS, Android, and the Nintendo Switch.
I still want to figure out, like, I want to know how they're doing that. Is it an app? Is it just the entire connectivity service? Is it going to be like a games launcher like Steam or Origins?
I don't think it's going to be an app. I think it's just going to be something that maybe something you launch, or something maybe you can choose to launch, or it's maybe just an SDK kit that's going to be made available into the Switch. So people, if the like game developers who say, okay, well, I want to play my game with people on Xbox and people on Switch, they can connect those profiles to where they go, here it is. So,
and have they mentioned what exactly their goal of doing this is?
They want people on Xbox Live.
Is it?
Think about it. I mean, legit. You pay $60 a year for Xbox Live.
Okay.
They want Microsoft no longer makes money off of consoles or games. This has been the case for a long time.
Really?
Everything has shifted to a service industry these days. Xbox Live, Xbox Game Pass, things that require Microsoft minimal effort to put into with maximum reward. So, you gonna pay $60 a year to join and play your video games online? Yes. Okay. Well, then that's a charge that normally you wouldn't have to pay, but you are paying. So Microsoft is basically making money off of that. And then you have another $6 a month where you can get their Game Pass and play all their old library of games that they've already released in the past. In converting over all the old 360 games and some of the original Xbox games. So you can just play them again while you pay a dollar amount per month for that service. Yep. That's how they float their game development. That's how they float their business. Everything is based off a service. If you look at the cost of some of these Xboxes when they are launched, they take a huge hit on these.
Yeah. There's I don't know about the Switch, but if I'm not mistaken, Nintendo is the only console developer that still makes a profit off of their consoles. Like, I know on the Wii they made profit.
You are correct, sir, and that's because they use older technology that's been available and around for a long time. So it's cheap.
I haven't read that about the Switch per se, but I know the Wii and the Wii U were technically, the console did technically net a small profit.
Usually I think it was somewhere between $10 to $20 per console.
Yeah. But Sony's been in the negative on consoles since the PS2, I think. The original PS2 was a net loss at first. The games were profitable, but the console was not.
Yeah, everybody sucks wind except for Nintendo when they launch a brand new console, because it's cutting edge technology that they're trying to sell you for $300 or $400. When in reality, like a cutting edge computer these days costs $2,000 to $3,000. Plus, this is all custom chips and custom hardware that they're dropping into this thing, so it's ridiculous.
That's fair. I never thought of it like that.
all the R&D costs that go into it.
So anytime you give Xbox money for a service-related thing, that's how you're paying their bills. The same thing with Sony, and then of course Nintendo's now just kind of milking that cow because they're just going to be like, they're like, hey, we could try and do that too.
That's one of the biggest reasons why I stopped buying consoles, though, is because I was tired of having to pay money on top of my internet, on top of my console, on top of my games, just to play.
Mm-hmm. But then again, if you don't buy it, then you miss out on some incredible games.
That's part of the reason I don't play or haven't played a lot of multiplayer console games. But pretty much every console game I've ever played has been single player only.
That's true on my part as well.
So that you don't have to pay for the online services.
I still pay for the online services.
Well, technically, we also pay for the PSN, but we end up downloading like half of their free games every couple of months that they come out with. So
that is a nice service that has been put in with those where you feel like you're actually getting something out of it instead of I just paid $60 a month just for playing online with people. I feel terrible about that. No, now you're getting 2 games or 3 games in some cases every single month for your year.
Yeah.
I don't think it was so much a bad thing, at least for me when I was younger, because I played my Xbox for hours upon hours a day.
Yeah.
I got my money for it. But now, it's not worth it.
Yeah. I've noticed that, shocker, as I've gotten older and my time has gotten more minuscule, it's difficult to actually sit down and play a video game.
Yeah.
It's the concept of your time has become more valuable to you because the little bit of free time that you have to spend doing recreation, you want to make sure that the recreation you're doing is cost effective in the long run. Like if you've only got, 5 hours on a Saturday to have to yourself and do fun stuff, you want to make sure that shit you're doing is super entertaining. You don't want to sit down and play something and be all like, well, I used up all my recreation time for the week and I didn't feel entertained at all. I was pissed off half the time. And that's something that I've started. That's part of the reason why I switched to streaming instead of recording and editing and uploading for YouTube separately from streaming, is because all that editing and rendering time just ate into all of my entertainment time.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't get to play any games for me. And I found that just streaming on YouTube was just fucking so much streaming on Twitch was just so much easier.
Yeah, I'm with you.
This is true.
That's one of the reasons why I did the Switch too. It's because, hardly anyone watched my videos either, but might as well have just started new on Twitch and enjoy it and just export everything to YouTube for those who want to see it. I'm the same format. I'm just not going through all the painstaking effort of creating custom intros or outros and thumbnails and editing it and rendering it all out and then uploading it and meta tagging it and titling it and descriptioning it. Yeah.
But that's the fun. Not really. There's nothing fun behind that.
I miss it somewhat.
I like editing, actually. That's because that's my hobby.
I will say that's the one part I miss. I only miss it in the aspect of it felt like it was getting that creative side of me, some action. I don't miss the amount of time it took.
Yeah.
That shit took so much. Like I'd have a 30-minute episode and I'd have to edit for 45 minutes just to get one episode out. So I edited more than I actually played games. And I was all like, I don't like that ratio.
Yeah, I actually streamlined my process down to a point where I could record for 3 hours and then spend an hour editing and then set everything to render and then come back in a few hours when it was all done and upload. So I wasn't too worried about that aspect, but it was more just like I was putting a lot of effort into it and didn't feel like I was getting any return. But when I started streaming, I had people who would come back and watch regularly. These were the commenters or viewers that I never had on YouTube that I could personally interact with, which is something I always wanted, was a community. And so streaming definitely brought that forward for me, and it was really, really cool. That's one of the reasons why I've stuck with it. Though, like you, Matt, and like you, Daniel, editing, I loved editing. I don't know what it was about just getting the time to edit and like, have fun with something, but I loved editing and creating stuff in After Effects. That was my jam. I was getting so invested in that, and I wish I could still do that, but I don't have the program anymore.
Oh, goodness.
What else you got news-wise?
Well, I'll tell you what else I have news-wise. I have Nintendo Direct news.
Ooh, hit us.
And if you ever wanted to see a group of people vocally orgasm all at the same time across the world,
Who?
the best time for it was when they announced Super Mario Maker 2.
Oh, I thought you were going to name a different game.
Nope. No other game has this level of wah as in Super Mario Maker. Super Mario Maker became a huge phenom when it was released for the Wii U. It was one of the things that when the Switch was made, everybody's like, all right, where's Super Mario Maker? Port it. Like, you're porting all these other games. Why haven't you ported this yet? Hurry up. And now we have it. We have Super Mario Maker 2 is going to be released in June of this year. So expect to not be able to get your hands on that game anytime soon.
I thought you were going to mention the game of the little elf boy who goes after the triangle rock.
You mean The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakenings remake?
Yeah, dude.
You mean that claymation?
That is not claymation, my friend. That is a faithful one-to-one remake of Link's Awakening, down to the grass patches around the house. Did you see that video? Did you see that comparison that was made?
No, I'll look it up right now.
This game is a faithful remake of the original, and it looks great. It has that
Link's Awakening was the first Legend of Zelda?
No,
this is one that was made for the Game Boy Classic.
It was the first Game Boy Zelda.
Oh.
If
I never
I'm not
played
mistaken.
it. I honestly wasn't even familiar with the name. I was like, oh, look, a new Legend of Zelda game. Cool.
This is going to be a huge thing for Legend of Zelda fans. Especially people who've never had the opportunity to play Link's Awakening.
It looks very similar to A Link to the Past.
Yeah. A Link Between
It
Worlds.
came out roughly the same. I think Link's Awakening was slightly before Link to the Past. Like maybe a year or two.
Okay.
But if I'm not mistaken, Link's Awakening, in the Zelda community, it's like in most people's top 5 Zelda games.
Yeah, it is a good game.
I didn't realize how many Zelda games start with him waking up on a beach.
Surprising number.
Yes, quite a few. It's either him waking up in a beach or him waking up in a bed, not knowing where he came from.
Whoop, 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 whoop. Where did I come from?
Who am I?
Oh, wow, they actually had a chain chomp in this game. That's funny.
Mm-hmm. So, on top of this, if you are a fan of some local co-op games...
Oh, this is delightful.
Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. I know this game has been out for the Wii U for a while, and then just got recently released for the Nintendo Switch, which I own it on the Switch. They are releasing a co-op mode for the game now, absolutely free. And there's also going to be some new DLC content which you can buy to get new challenges and new courses. If you've not played Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, it is a solid girlfriend game.
Girlfriend game?
What I mean by that is if you are a guy who plays video games, and if you have somebody who does not play video games or a girlfriend that does not, this is a game that she would love to play. Because it's got a little bit of puzzle solving to it, and it's toads, and toads are all cute, and they're bringing in Toadette as a co-op player. So it is it's a great game. I loved it when it was out for the Wii U. I played through the entire game and beat it. There's few games that really have just grabbed my attention. And honestly, I can say that even Red Dead Redemption 2 hasn't grabbed my attention. I have not fired that game back up.
You should just mail me your PlayStation 4 in games and let me play it.
Which PlayStation 4? I have 2 of them now.
The less expensive one.
And outside of Toad, Tetris 99 released.
Oh yeah, the Tetris Battle Royale.
It is a free-to-play twist on classic Tetris that puts you against 99 other players. Oh well, it's Tetris. I like Tetris. I think there is one Tetris game that I enjoy the most. Is the one that was released for the Nintendo DS. It was I think it was Tetris DS is what it was called. I actually got
an ingenious name.
Pardon me. I actually got really good at this game because there were 20 levels to this Tetris game. And when you reach level 20, as opposed to previously there were 9 levels, when you reach level 20, these blocks were falling like that fast.
Jeez. I was never good at Tetris originally.
It is super fun. But some people will say, what was that? A Nintendo 64 game. Tetris Sphere. Tetris Sphere was a much better game. Specifically, Michael and TJ would probably say that.
Yeah, well, everyone's got their own opinion, even if it's wrong.
Yeah, that's true. Deltarune's coming to the Switch, and then the Yoshi's Crafted World, the new Yoshi game, is finally coming.
I still have to play Yoshi Island.
Wait, Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island?
You ever played that?
Oh my god, that game was so good.
I don't know, whichever one's on the N64.
No, this was SNES.
What do I have?
I'm talking about something else. Did you ever play Tetris Grandmaster?
I have not played Tetris Grandmaster. I would like to get my hands on one of those arcade machines, though.
Dude, Grandmaster will murder your face.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, Yoshi's Story.
Yoshi's Story, okay.
Lastly, Final Fantasy IX and Final Fantasy VII are making their debut for the Switch. Hooray! 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 Hooray!
Yay!
Woo! More Final Fantasy for all. These are, by the way, these are the PC ports of the game. So, the ones that you saw on PC, the one that you saw on Android and iOS when these released, these are the versions that are coming onto the Switch. So, any bugs and things glitches that you saw in that, you're going to see with the Switch. Just fair warning. Some of that port didn't come out all that well, but
that always makes me sad. I mean, I know that there's got to be a lot of backbone to porting games from system to system.
Oh, yeah.
But sometimes I just sit there and go, why can't this game just be perfect?
There's something terrible mentioned right here that I'm just going to ignore. It's something about Assassin's Creed 3, but nobody really cares about Assassin's Creed 3. Because it's all emo.
Yeah, I didn't really care for Assassin's Creed 3. I think I played like an hour of it and decided I was done.
It's coming to the Switch. They're remastering it.
Really?
So, yes. So you get your moody protagonist. It's too common of a theme these days. Let's stop with the moody protagonist.
Let's also stop with the British voiceover characters that help you while you're on your quests.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
Need more
Yeah.
Scottish.
Give me Irish.
That is all the news that I have for this week, gentlemen.
Well, I got news.
You should go after me because I think you will have more important news than my news, and we should end on a good note.
Go right ahead.
I hate being the last person to do news and be like, I got this one thing that is just kind of like little.
Do it, man. Go for it.
So my little bit of news is that Team Cherry, the developers of Hollow Knight, have announced that they are coming out with a sequel to Hollow Knight called Hollow Knight Silk Song. And supposedly, from what I read, this game was originally supposed to be like DLC for the original Hollow Knight, which, for those of you who aren't familiar with it, it's a Metroidvania-styled game with beautiful art design and good music and supposedly a very good story. Haven't actually played the story myself, but I've seen some people playing it, and it looked really interesting. But it was supposed to be DLC, and they just kept working on it and working on it and working on it. And then they were like, you know what? This is a whole new game. Because you play as a completely different character. According to this article, you play as someone named Hornet, who is the princess protector of the Hollow Nest from the previous game. So, which apparently provided some challenging fights against the main protagonist, the knight, that I suppose you played as. So I guess you're kind of getting the opposite like viewpoint of it in some respects, which is going to be interesting. So now I've actually got to go back and play that game in time for this new one.
Oh, I'm going to tell you something. You're not missing a lot when it comes to Hollow Knight.
Oh, yeah?
I gave it a really good old hard college try in playing.
Look, man, I'm in college. There's no such thing as a hard college try.
It's a figure of speech. Man, it just did not feel the need of the Metroidvania slot. Just didn't. It didn't feel. It didn't feel good at all. So
interesting.
So sadly, I will not pick up Silk Song.
That is all right. I'll probably pick it up on sale, like when it comes through a Humble Bundle, like I did with Hollow Knight. Or there was another game I wanted more, and I said, sure, I'll pay $12 to get this one game. That's normally $50. And then I got 6 other games with it.
Ta-da.
But yeah, that pretty much does it. Just that little bit.
Nice.
I guess I should probably add, for those who are interested, it is coming to PC, Mac, Linux, and the Switch. So
everybody likes the Switch.
But yeah, so take it away, Matt, now that my lackluster news has finally been administered.
Now, I know this question I'm going to pose, Cody is going to say no.
Okay.
So I'll just ask Daniel. Daniel, did you own a physical copy of the original Super Mario Brothers?
Oh, yes. Very much so.
Well, it might interest you to know that a Super Mario Brothers game cartridge sold at auction for $100,000.
If only I had a mint condition grade A Super Mario Brothers cart.
Yes, it was rated 9.4 out of 10 mint condition.
Jesus. Wow.
And this was one of the original cartridges that was released only in New York and LA during a test launch of the original Nintendo Entertainment System. And this thing still has its original Nintendo seal, keeping the box shut.
Wow. So let me guess. Someone bought that, put it in a closet somewhere, forgot about it.
It doesn't really go into details about that.
Huh.
But it was in near mint 9.4 rating, and the sticker had a seal rating of A++, which is basically perfect. And yeah, sold at auction for $100,000.
All my jelly all over the place.
just over 100 grand. It was 100,105.
Doesn't that make that the most expensive NES cartridge ever?
It makes it the most expensive video game ever.
True. I was gonna say because I remember track and field world was it?
Yeah, I remember that one.
Track and field events, I think is what it was. Anyway, it was like $50,000.
Dear God.
Yeah.
It was Family Fitness Stadium events because it was only released for a very, very short amount of time.
Yep.
I think that sold in around $50,000.
Yeah, this went to a group of collectors, so it's obviously not somebody that's all like, "I'm going to take it out of the box and play it."
Yeah,
they're obviously going to stick it in some glass cabinet somewhere and
with
hold on to
light.
it for another 10 or 15 years, and then probably resell it later on down the line.
Exactly what I would do. You make sure you have a little cabinet and that's locked, and there's no light that can penetrate the room, so nothing fades ever.
And that way, your brother's son doesn't sneak into your office and steal your cartridge and pull it out of the box thinking he'll be able to sell it online for a lot of money. I read that on Reddit the other day. Someone's brother's son snuck into his office, stole a mint condition in the box Boba Fett figurine that was worth, I think, a little over $2,000. Thought he could take it to sell it, so he took it out of the package and took it home and was talking with a friend on the internet about wanting to sell it.
You just break one finger right there, and nobody ever touches it anything again.
Yep.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
You know what a brother's son is called, right?
Nephew.
There you go.
You know, I really should have remembered that because my nephew was just recently born.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to say anything. I was just going to let it go.
Yep.
I was going to call him out on it.
You're just like, I'm going to call you on it right now.
I'm going to call you on it. I don't give a damn.
I was replaying rereading the article in my head, and the brother was referencing his brother and his son. So that's why I was like, the brother's son, because I'm trying to keep it straight in my head. And I just didn't even put it together until you said it. I was like, you know what? Yeah, there is a word for that. It's nephew.
So the second story I've got, depending on who you are and how you feel about this situation, you may feel that this is a political issue, but America's largest labor federation is officially asking the Game Developers of America to unionize.
Oh, that's interesting.
The AFL-CIO is trying to reach out to large groups of developers at large AAA studios and trying to get them to unionize to prevent 100+ hour weeks and people getting massive layoffs from a company as soon as they finish their work and things to that nature, so that a lot of the one of the things they mention is the fact that the co-founder and vice president of Rockstar Games was bragging online that his employees were pulling 100-hour work weeks to finish Red Dead Redemption 2 on time. Like it was no big deal. And a lot of granted, there were some of the game developers from that studio that were like, yeah, I feel really excited about this. But there were an equal number that were like, we're dying over here. You know, I love what I'm doing, but it's murdering me. And they're actively reaching out to them in an attempt to try to be like, look, guys, if we can just get a whole bunch of you together, we can prevent a lot of these really shitty, like Blizzard's most recent, we have a record earning quarter this year, or a record earning quarter this quarter. So we're going to go ahead and lay off 800 people.
Thanks,
and you're like, you guys are making a shitload of money and hiring new executives with like $15 million sign-on bonuses and firing a large portion of your staff that did all the hard labor to get this stuff done. And I understand the back end parts of it, of like, this is how these businesses work and stuff, but it's pretty shitty.
It is.
And if if they did unionize, it would give them some significant. It would give the developers themselves some significant power into preventing themselves from being overused and then thrown away.
The only problem is the studios had just been like, all right, well, then we just don't really need to make games. We're going to go do something else.
Yeah.
That's the one downside that a lot of people, they do mention, is they're like, you would basically need the vast majority of developers to sign up for this. Because if they didn't get like 70% of them, then they would just hire somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the one downside with getting a new union started, is it's extremely difficult.
Yeah, that hill to climb it's like Mount Everest.
Yeah. It's been done in the past, and it can be done. It's not fucking easy. So
I think you're going to run into a lot of issues with China and India being cheap in the market for things of that nature, where they could just outsource the game, and then we're just going to end up with lower quality games.
while
no one's going to want to buy them.
That's the one thing I was going to bring up. So while I do not disagree with Daniel's assessment of you're going to get a lot of overseas game development getting done in that case, I do also agree with Cody that you'll have a lot of lower quality games that will lead to vastly lower sales. This is exactly what happened with Mass Effect Andromeda at launch. Is a lot of the work was not ready in time, so they sent it overseas to get done by other game developers from countries that aren't normally known for high quality game development.
Mm-hmm.
And they got mediocre quality stuff back and threw it into their game thinking it would be okay. And we all know how that wound up with the Mass Effect series. And you can say all day long that, they went back and cleaned a lot of those problems up, which they did, but
they could have prevented it all in the first
still
place.
Doesn't save the trilogy.
There's still a lot of egg on your face, and it ruined the reputation for the company and the series, and they're going to have to rebuild that up again.
And now it's on a shelf.
Yeah, which is not easy. I mean, they spent years and years building up that kind of a brand name, and you ruined it in the matter of a couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's the same thing when it comes to IT. The fact that so many companies are now outsourcing to foreign IT companies to handle a lot of their help desks and tickets, at least at first or second level. And it just upsets the customer more. There's nothing more infuriating than trying to go find some help and then finding someone who doesn't understand you or the problem you're having.
Yep.
And it saves you more money, but your customers are just more frustrated. Your reputation goes down. You lose customers because of it.
Yep.
I had something deep and philosophical that I was about to say, and then I just kind of stopped myself.
Do you want to go for it?
All right, I'll say it.
That was easy.
Eventually, what you're going to see in the IT field is people are going to become more educated in their technology as time progresses. And what I mean by that is old people going to die soon. And you won't have people calling in trying to figure out where the reset button on the modem is. Your consumers are going to get smarter over time. And then I believe that Hold on.
Me and Cody are going to say the same thing.
Look, I know y'all are both in IT, but I'm not talking about right now. I'm talking about down the road. A first level IT support, I think eventually will go away. I think you're going to have enough people who are educated enough in technology that grew up with it. I mean, you've seen 4-year-olds holding cell phones in their hands who can sit there type faster than, a 20-year-old, eventually it will overtake tier 1 support. That's what I'm saying.
Matt, would you like to go first?
I disagree. I can't tell you how many college students I've dealt with that don't know what a computer is in the literal sense of the term. Like if I call you on the phone and I say, hey, I need you to reach over and hit the power button on your computer. Kids in college going for like engineering degrees, and they don't know that. They're like, do you mean the part with the screen? Do you mean the modem? And I'm like, what do you mean when you say modem? You know, the part of the computer that's the modem.
As someone who works in a college,
do you tend to agree with my assessment?
I wholeheartedly agree, because I have students who we have a dual enrollment program where a bunch of high schools in the area bring in high school students to start college early, so that way they can accomplish those credits and finish and get their degree earlier. So I have students who are 16, 17, 18, you know, granted that's 5 years younger than I am right now, but most of them have no idea what they're even doing on their computer. They're lucky they understand how to open it up, power it on, and get Microsoft Word or a browser to work.
They can do. I will say there is a level of usability that's far superior in the younger generation. Getting online, doing stuff through a web interface, yeah, night and day. It's so much easier with a kid, because like I'll have to talk to a client of mine that's in their 50s or 60s, and I'll be like, hey, I need you to pull up a web browser for me, and I'm going to give you a website to go to. And they're like, what's a browser?
That's fair.
And then I'll tell them to type in www.website.com, and they type it into the Google search field. And I'm like, okay, you're going to need to click in the address bar at the top of the screen. What's on top of my screen? And I'm like, okay, hold on. And kids, I don't have that problem with the younger crowd, but that's not to say that I still don't have simple issues with the younger kids. It feels weird for me to say with the kids, because they're people that are like Cody's age that I'm having problems with now. But I mean, the age difference between me and Cody is like what?
23.
23. So like 12 years. There's a 12-year difference. So I mean, it's a significant age difference for me. But anyway.
Yeah, but you're still dealing with people that still have that gap. What I'm talking about are the future generation here. Smartphones and stuff like this haven't been around since came out, what, 2008, I think is when the first iPhone launched.
I thought it was earlier than that.
Well, still, it was around that time frame.
2006, maybe.
2007.
2007. Okay.
June 29th, 2007.
I was off by a year.
I thought it was a lot earlier than that, so you were closer than my expectations.
So your 11 to 12-year-old kids, not even then, because even at that point, it was way too new of a technology. I'm talking about your 5 to 6-year-old kids these days who, when you go to a restaurant, are sitting there playing Fortnite on a tablet. That is going to be your future of no tier 1 support required.
I think I can kind of agree with you with the stipulation of I don't think it'll go away. I think it will be significantly reduced, but I don't think tier 1 will ever go away.
I think that also heavily depends on the advancement of our technology by then, because you're right. 10 years ago, we didn't have the same interface that we have now. And tech was, at that time, the people who were pioneering it and teaching the newer people. It's kind of the same gap that we are now with tier 1 and people who are coming into learning technology. Like, they're different concepts, but there's still that same knowledge gap. And as long as our technology keeps advancing, we're going to have that same knowledge gap of where people just don't understand certain concepts. They don't know how to find the file explorer. They don't know where to go to check their display or to update drivers. Like,
but everything these days is from my personal opinion. What's the word? Not okay. UI. I'll just say UI. User interfaces on devices are getting simpler.
Yeah,
simpler.
I can agree with that.
Because coding is becoming more efficient, and the thought process of behind how do I get this to turn on within one or two instances, and then the troubleshooting capabilities of the software itself in the device that you have is getting better and better and better. That's my opinion, but I'll leave that at the door.
That's fair. Last news article. Back to me talking every single week about the new Dune movie coming out.
Dune.
Let's sing the Dune song now. Dune, 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 Dune. Invaders M? No one?
No.
Oh man, I got something to send you. Okay, continue with your news.
You can totally not send me that. That's okay.
Nope, I'm sending it to you.
I can guarantee you I won't watch it. Okay.
That's fine. I'm doing my job.
Damn it. So they've announced 2 additional actors that are going to be playing roles in the movie.
Oh?
They have cast Josh Brolin.
Oh, really?
Who, for those people who are not aware, he most recently played Thanos.
Oh.
He will be in the film. He's going to be playing the role that was previously played by Patrick Stewart.
Ooh.
So that's an interesting replacement. And in addition, they have also cast Jason Momoa.
Interesting.
Really?
Yeah, Khal Drogo from Game of Thrones and Aquaman.
Hold on. I just found out that Josh Brolin was in No Country for Old Men.
Oh my god.
Is that who that is?
Pretty soon he's going to say, hey, did you know Josh Brolin was in this movie called Goonies?
He was in the Goonies too?
Oh my god, for real? Are you serious? You didn't know he was in the Goonies?
Oh, I didn't even know.
Have you seen the Goonies?
I have seen the Goonies.
I was about to say, just think of how old he is. It's probably your answer.
This fucking kid, man.
Oh, okay, so he played the who is it? The older brother?
He played like the older brother who at the beginning was a bit of a little bit of a dick.
Yeah, okay. Well, it's funny because I just recently watched No Country for Old Men and would not have recognized him in the role that he played. I had no idea that's who he was.
That's interesting because they also cast Javier Bardem, who was the main character in No Country for Old Men.
Oh, okay, so. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the haircut that they gave him in No Country for Old Men really throws me for a loop.
Well, wasn't that movie set in like the 70s or 80s?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're gonna have odd haircuts.
Yeah. It really reinforces that whole like not right in the head kind of serial killer vibe.
Yeah. I like that they cast. I like the character that they cast Jason Momoa as is a character that's gonna have to be like really prim and proper and like in a really form-fitted military outfit the whole time.
Does he cut his hair?
I don't think they'll make him cut his hair. They may make him go clean shaven though.
That's a long time to grow that beard back.
I don't know, man. This dude's a man. He probably just pushed that beard back out.
Yeah, I would not doubt it. I mean, it's not that long.
His beard?
Yeah.
No. His beard's not that long.
It's like my length long. Like, that's not bad at all.
Yeah.
It's just more full.
He strikes me as the kind of dude that could grow that beard out like in 2 weeks.
Wish I had that type of testosterone.
I know, dude. I've seen dudes they'll shave. Like the whole joke about the 5 o'clock shadow is I've seen dudes that like in high school, would shave on a Monday, and by Friday they'd have a beard again.
Wow.
It was weird.
Holy cow, guys. Did you know that Tommy Lee Jones was in No Country for Old Men?
I'm just gonna stop right now.
And on a side note, I don't know if I brought this up the first time I mentioned the Dune remake, but the director is trying to push to make this a 2-movie deal.
Ooh.
Because
that's good.
The book, surprisingly, is a relatively short book for a science fiction novel. However, it is extremely content dense. So when they made the original theatrical release in the 80s was like 3.5 hours long, and they still cut a lot of content out of it. So I think it might be good for them to make like 2.5 hour movies, and then it doesn't feel quite as long and bloated at first, but you still get a good amount of story in there. I think that would be fair.
For me, who has still yet to see your fan edit and has never read the books, I really need to take the time to actually sit down and watch that.
Didn't you download it already?
Yeah, it's on my computer. I haven't taken the time to actually sit down and watch it.
Well, in all fairness, it is like 3.5 hours long. So
yeah,
It's just an Avengers movie. That's all.
And most of the time when I actually have 3.5 hours, it's typically dedicated to homework or streaming.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
But I will watch it. And then I will
say
more.
I will say it's definitely one of the movies that you cannot watch half-assed. You do have to pay attention to what's going on, because they will reference shit at the beginning of the movie 3 hours later. So if you're not paying attention and absorbing the details, parts of the movie later are not going to make any sense.
It's like reading a book.
It is.
Where they mention something in the first chapter, and then by the time you reach the end, you're like, what are they even talking about right now? Who is this person again?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's stupid good. I mean, there's a reason it's the highest selling sci-fi or fantasy novel of all time. It's outsold Lord of the Rings.
The spice must flow.
So it's really good.
One of these days, I will have to take the time to read all those books. Lord of the Rings, Dune, and Harry Potter.
You will not read all the Dune books.
No?
No.
Why not?
I have not read all the Dune books.
I will one-up you, Matt.
Good luck with that.
You have had...
There's like
35 years to do this? Come on.
There's like 27 Dune books by now, and they're still writing more.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
Better get reading. Why?
Why? Because they sell.
Wow. Is it the same person who writes them, or is it like a conglomerate of people that have been?
No, the original author is dead. The current author is his son.
Gotcha. Okay, so it's kind of like the Dragon Riders of Pern books, where the original author ended up passing away, and her son took on the mantle. Yeah,
the original author wrote the first 6 books, and then wrote outlines for, I think, 3 additional novels before his death. And then his son picked up. His son and one of his dad's assistants have written all the additional books.
Wow.
That's and impressive. They've written like more than a dozen on their own. And they're still writing more. 6 to 9 books that they have planned that they're going to write in addition to what they're working on right now. So,
well,
they're just constantly cranking them out.
And how big are these books?
The original trilogy, they were all like 300 to 400 pages.
Oh, that's not bad.
No, they're not very long. But when you get into the last 4, 5, and 6 were in the range of like 600 pages.
Ooh, those are bigger.
And then when you get to some of the stories that his son wrote, some of them were 800 to 900.
Wow. Well, look.
I mean, they're not Game of Thrones.
If I can read 4,
that's on a completely different level.
If I can read 4 textbooks in like a 4-month period for school, I can sit down and read all the Dune books.
We'll see about that.
I'm never going to do this.
No, you're not.
I'm never going to pick one up.
I have them in audiobook format, and I'm not going to. Now, the one thing I will say is they're amazing, and there's a lot of story to them, but holy crap, in the middle of the 6-book series, they get really thick. Like, and I mean, like, it gets really heavy into religion and mythology, wow. But it's not like ancient mythology. It's like sci-fi futuristic mythology. It gets really weird in the middle.
You know,
that's where it actually loses a lot of people. They get into that section, they're just like, and done.
Sometimes I find myself wishing that I were hospitalized for a long period of time just so I could catch up on books and have a reason to have free time.
That is a really specific wish.
That is certainly interesting.
I'm just saying, like, you know, there are times where I haven't been able to catch up on books that I've wanted to read, and I'm like, I've been meaning to do that, but I just don't want to. And
I get it. It's that, I forget what that terminology is called, but there's the mentality of, you know, it's a natural. Is Cappy standing right there? Hey, Cappy. What's that thing called where you have like really sick and twisted thoughts, but you don't act on them because you're not crazy?
Ew.
We talk about it periodically, but you're all like, you think to yourself, what would happen if I'd like just push this guy into the middle of the road in front of this car?
Oh, the intrusive thoughts.
Intrusive thoughts. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Where you find yourself looking. You're in a situation where you're standing on a street corner and you see this person standing there and a bus is coming and you get this thought in your mind that's just like, what would happen if I push this guy in front of a bus? It's like, you don't do it obviously because you're not freaking crazy, but everybody from time to time has these weird thoughts.
Sure.
Of like, why did I think like that? But it's that seems like one of those things like, man, you know what I wish? I wish I was hospitalized for like 9 months for no fucking reason so that I could read all these books. It sounds like a really weird, like out of nowhere thought process. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So I totally get where you're coming from, but it hits the ear weird.
Yeah. But I mean, you know, I don't have the time otherwise when it comes to work and family and, you know, other obligations. It's like, when am I ever going to come around to actually making the time for this? It's the funniest thing when it comes to the construct of time, because we put so much value on it and we spend so much of our lives measuring it and watching it and, you know, maintaining it. And it influences so much of what we do and the choices we make, that if we didn't have it, it makes me wonder what we would do as, you know, human beings, as society. Would we be less stressed? Would it be easier to accomplish tasks that we need to have done? Would we never get things done because we don't have a sense of like a deadline or urgency?
It's kind of interesting that you bring that up, because that's a topic that they bring up in the Mass Effect series, because in the very first Mass Effect game, they mention it where you as a human character are talking to an alien character, and the alien's like, you know, humans are the new people to the galaxy, and you're kind of intimidating. And the human is the shepherd and looks at the alien. He's like, you think we're intimidating? And he's like, we're constantly frightened of all of you aliens. And they're like, yeah, you're intimidating and we think it's partially because you guys live shorter lives than most of the other alien species out here. So because of the shorter lifespan, you desire to get so much more done in such a smaller period of time that you try to make these huge jumps that everybody else from the outside are looking at it going like, why are they pushing so hard for all of this? Because you think of some of the other aliens that live 1,000 years and it's not a big deal. Right. And you think to yourself, man, if I had 1,000 years to live, maybe I wouldn't be so stressed out and trying to get stuff done on such a tight schedule all the time.
Mm-hmm.
That, you know, I could relax a little bit more.
I'll finish that project next year.
Yeah. You know, I've always wanted to learn to play piano. I'll do it in 50 years. It's fine.
Could you imagine how procrastinating humans would be if we just, all of a sudden, for no reason, everybody's lifespan went from like 80 years to like 1,000 years?
Good Lord.
Yeah.
You'd be all like, fuck it, I'll do it in 10 years. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, I'm gonna take a break right now. Yeah. I need to take a vacation about 20 years.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, it's absolutely true. We realize and are aware so much of our own mortality and what happens, because just because we live to be 80 doesn't mean we're capable of doing what we want by the time we're 80.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, I think, the scary part for us. And one of the reasons why that we hold on to time so much is because we understand that, you know, when we're 6, we feel unstoppable. By the time we're 20, we're like, I can do whatever I want. We hit 25 and we're like, holy cow, I'm not as young as I used to be. And then you really feel that by the time you hit 30, 40, 50. Like, by the time we're in our mid 20s,
Don't talk like you're in your 30s, you son of a bitch.
Exactly. By the time we hit our mid 20s, you know, we begin to understand that mortality and that things aren't improving necessarily. We've reached that peak and are starting to plateau.
The thing that tripped me out a couple years ago was, for those of you who don't know, when I was 18, I was in a car wreck and I had to get the tip of one of my fingers amputated. So I'm missing the tip of one of my fingers since I was 18. And I thought about it a couple of years ago. I was like, you know, when I'm 36, I will have lived half my life without the tip of my finger. And then I thought about it a little longer and I went, no, because I don't remember the first like 4 or so years of my life at all.
Mm-hmm.
So consciously, I've not had this part of my body longer than I have had that part of my body. So people ask me, they're like, how big of an adjustment was it? I'm like, it would be more of an adjustment for me now to have the tip of my finger back. And it really tripped me out at the time. I was like, I've consciously lived without my finger longer than I have had it. That's really weird.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things that just hits you all of a sudden. And you're like, huh, that's strange.
Yeah, you know, I've never even really thought of it that way. But I mean, like, I've thought of certain things like that way, but not in a sense of like having lost a part of my body and then gone so long to where it's like, this is what is normal. Having it would be abnormal. Stop giving me 3/4 of a bird.
How? we have dipped down the philosophical rabbit hole for this
I know,
episode
dude.
of the podcast.
Did we get any email this week?
We do have an email.
I really enjoyed that rabbit hole. I just want you guys to know.
I mean, it was interesting and kind of fun, but yeah.
Super deep.
Let's get back on track, I guess.
Only because we are breaking the 2-hour point.
Okay, email.
We will hit our email of the day in the segment called Email. And if you want your email read on the VGBit Bitcast, you can send your emails to bitcast@vgbits.com. That's bitcast, BITCAST @vgbits.com. We will read them. I did not feel like screaming at the top of my lungs today. Email. There you go.
That was terrible. but A+ for the attempt.
Woo!
All right. So this email comes in from Mike, who with the subject line writes, "Games for Holly."
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Mike suggested Dark Souls. He goes, no, actually I wouldn't. I would recommend either Limbo or Inside. They're both fairly short games, primarily focused on puzzle solving, so not too intense on gameplay.
Limbo would be good. I could see Limbo.
I never actually played Limbo.
I didn't either, but I know the concept behind it. So
I did play Inside. That was good.
So I will share those games with Holly and gauge her feedback on whether or not she's interested in. I still have not been able to crack open a video game for her to play, mainly because I hadn't had time to crack open a video game for me to play. So, at some point, we'll play video games. Maybe Captain Toad, honestly. But
hey, Super Princess Peach.
No.
Yeah, dude, that game was awesome.
No. No. All I can think of is the crown. So. with
Oh,
Toadette.
that's completely different title.
I know. It's all I can think of, though.
Okay.
It's burned my brain.
Slutty Bowser.
I would rather shoot myself in the face.
That's fair.
Anyway,
Well,
that was our email that we received this week. Thanks again, as always, Mike. Question for the interwebs.
How do you feel about the concept of time?
No. Here's the question. Here's the question of the week for the interwebs. Should we ditch YouTube and just straight stream Twitch only?
Only?
Only Twitch. So that is the question.
Can we add our input?
Sure, go ahead.
I would like to say, don't ditch YouTube, but ditch it in the way that we are currently utilizing it.
Yes.
If we were to go to Twitch and start streaming on Twitch, 100% export it to YouTube, archive it, have it there, but don't just stop on YouTube altogether.
Because I say that because legitimately, we are now capable of fully broadcasting to Twitch with no issues now. I have successfully ran enough tests locally wise for the podcast, and we solved the rendezvous issues. So
now
we are legitimately ready for prime time broadcast for the podcast.
That's
and
awesome.
The D&D podcast as well.
I'll say I would have no problems doing either the podcast or D&D live on Twitch as long as it was archived out to YouTube afterwards, so that there's some kind of, because the one downside with Twitch I've had is the archiving system in Twitch is not reliable.
Unless you pay for that service in Twitch, it's gone within 24 hours, I think.
It's not 24 hours. I think it's gone within like a week.
Yeah, you can set it up to where it'll archive stuff for a week. I think if you become an affiliate, it lasts longer. Because
an affiliate is 2 weeks.
I have stuff from December 19th that still has 2 days to expire.
The beautiful thing about this, though, is with the software that we have, is I can broadcast and record at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So there will still be an archived record. It may take a while to reach YouTube, but
that's fine.
So there you go. People of the internet, would you like to watch the podcast at 7 o'clock every Fridays? And then also, would you like to watch our D&D show every other Saturday at 12 o'clock? Let us know.
Eastern or Central, 12 o'clock Central.
Yes, Central, thank you. Is it Central Time, 12 o'clock Central? Please let us know, because there is a very good chance that we may just do that.
I'm down.
So
I'm game for it, yeah.
There is our question of the week. And I guess that's going to do it for this week's podcast. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me this week.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
And I guess we will see you all next time on the same time, same place. I was going to make a joke about it, but I failed horribly. So we'll see you next time.
Don't touch that dial.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care.